Welcome to Optimal Health Weekly with your host, Steve Adams. This podcast is for highly driven professionals, CEOs, and entrepreneurs who know health is the first wealth. Join us each week for a mix of expert interviews and solo episodes on health topics relevant to your busy life. Let's elevate your health together.
Hi, this is Steve Adams. I'm the founder and CEO of Tiger Medical Institute. And today in my Optimal Health podcast, I'm going to talk about immune function. And I want to start, with talking about it from the perspective of something that at Tiger we call the Terrain 10. And we adopt this from Dr. Nasha Winters, who wrote a book called The Metabolic Approach to Cancer. And what she talks about in this book are all of the assaults on our body that can cause us to get cancer unnecessarily, basically, and also work against our overall general well-being. And so while the book is very, very much almost textbook-like-ish, it's very well done. It's meant for people who are either having cancer treatments or people who are concerned about their risk for cancer and want to do something proactively. Now, in her book, she talks about something called the MTHFR gene marker, and up to 50% of the population have this, according to Dr. Winters, and I happen to have it. And what this means is that my methylation pathways, my ability to detoxify is impaired, and it puts me at an elevated risk for cancer. And I don't really need to know that necessarily because I see it all around my family history. My mother's side, my dad's side, it's everywhere, and it's pretty pervasive. And so I am being very proactive about doing what I can do to prevent the onset of cancer. Now, I'm not living in fear, but I'm saying, what can I do proactively that would not only help me lower my odds of getting it, but also stop doing the things that are potentially actively promoting it, okay? And I think that that's where you could benefit here. So the Terrain 10 that Dr. Winter talks about is there's 10 factors. One is genetic and nutrigenomic modifications. That's number one. So getting your genetic report and then working off from that. Secondly, balancing your blood sugars. Very, very important, okay? Because cancer loves sugar. Toxic burden management. A large percentage of Americans are burdened with excessive toxins that get rooted into tissue, and then that has negative consequences in our ability to fight off disease. Repopulating and balancing the microbiome, we're going to talk about that a little bit today. We're going to talk about immune system maximization in this episode, and then modulating inflammation and oxidative stress. Number 7 is enhancing blood circulation. Number 8 is establishing hormone balance. Number 9 is recalibrating stress levels. And number 10 is enhancing mental and emotional well-being. At Tiger Medical, I'm really proud of the fact that what our physicians do, along with our 8 Health Habits Masterclass, what it teaches, all 10 of these things are built into our process. And that's exciting for me. So let's talk about immune function. As I'm talking right now in your body and mine, the immune system's at work. It's hard at work. It's kind of like as Dr. Nasha says, the Homeland Security team for us. It's looking for and destroying external and internal invaders like bacteria and viruses and things like that, and potentially rapidly dividing cancer cells. In order for your immune system to do that well, it's supposed to know the difference between what she says is self versus non-self. Okay, autoimmune is when it starts attacking the self. Okay. And what's really interesting that I learned in her book is that the microbiome provides the instructions for the immune system. Our doctors talk about 70% or more of your immune function is rooted in the health of your microbiome, which is in the gut. And according to research, the up to 85% of people have something called leaky gut syndrome, meaning that the permeability of their intestinal wall has been compromised in some way. And now things that should be contained within that are getting out and into the bloodstream. And that has a lot of downstream negative consequences, okay? And so I just want to talk about a couple things in this podcast, this short podcast, is that you have several different immune fighting type cells. And I'm not going to get into that because I don't have the clinical background to explain how the system works, okay? But what I'll tell you is our gut biome, our gut health is exposed to a lot of things that compromise it, including grains and beans and sugar and food additives and colorings. And all of these things create a chronic inflammatory response. And then when you add in the fact that we are living with a lot of stress, those things kind of synergize in a negative way and compromise our gut health, okay? So what we want to do is, I want to talk about two things today. One is immune system offender number one, which is food allergens, okay, and leaky gut. And then the second thing that I want to talk about is nutrient deficiencies. That's immune system offender number two. And again, these are from Dr. Nasha Winter's book, The Metabolic Approach to Cancer, okay? So leaky gut and food allergens, when we eat foods like that have gluten in it, these things attack the health of our immune system. So every bite of food that we take, every sip of drink that goes into our digestive tract, there's this pathway from the mouth all the way to our anus, okay? And that long tube is our digestive tract, and it is lined with a single layer of something called epithelial cells that constitute this protective barrier separating us from the external environment. So this environment is held together by something called tight junctions. And if these junctions develop a rupture, okay, then a vast number of foreign antigens can be found that are found in modern food, in our food supply, then gain access to the bloodstream. And the problem is these holes happen all the time. And this phenomenon is called leaky gut syndrome. And like I said, an estimated 80% of the US population suffers from it. So, think of this as the plumbing in your house. These pipes are designed to carry water from, your water source up to your sink, to your toilets, to your showers. And think about if you had holes in the system everywhere, that's not going to be good for your house, right? It's going to create problems. And it's the same thing with your body and with your internal physiology. Pesticides, toxins, hormones, genetically modified food, antibiotics, things like that, that are not supposed to escape your digestive tract. But when they do, it sounds an alarm system to the entire immune system, okay? But what causes these holes, okay, are things like gluten and legumes and emulsifiers and solvents. And those things is, I guess the gluten and the legumes don't sound so bad, but emulsifiers and solvents, those don't sound good. Well, those are all part of the standard American diet, the SAD diet, okay? And they're the biggest offenders. So, in essence, these foods and these compounds create holes in our guts, and we need to try to work at avoiding them, okay? And so gluten, let's start with that. Many people kind of heard of it. They kind of know that, hey, if somebody has celiacs, they can't have it. A Others, they go off and on it thinking, maybe this will help me. And this is where when I talk to people who talk to me about Tiger Medical, and this is true really of any medical professional you work with, if you're not testing, you're just guessing. And so you don't really know, what some of these things will do for you. But what we universally know is that gluten is a protein found in many grains, including wheat, barley, and rye. And researchers have demonstrated that eating these gluten-containing grains result in an increased level of something called a protein level called zonulin, okay? And so this can happen to whether you have celiacs or not. As the zonulin levels increase, the seal between the intestinal cells, those junctions, are dissolved, creating spaces between the cells that allow those antigens to pass through. And then the immune system then mounts an attack on these antigens, leading to food sensitivities, inflammation, autoimmunity, and ultimately can lead to cancer, okay? As Dr. Nasha says in her book, in fact, zonulin dysregulation has been observed in glioma patients and is correlated with a higher degree of malignancy of brain cancers. It's also been linked to a higher degree of oral cancer, lung cancer, and pancreatic cancers, okay? So wheat proteins have also been associated with 17 other autoimmune disorders, including type 1 diabetes. So bottom line, if you're not already convinced that a wheat and grain-free diet is good for you, it's critical simply on the cancer prevention. I've also seen where our physicians have vastly improved our clients' A1C and pre-diabetes markers when they remove gluten because of something called molecular mimicry. We won't get into that today. So that's gluten. So our doctors routinely recommend all clients take it out of their diet. Now, I know it's hard because we love gluten, or we love the foods that it's in, like breads and pastas. But if you're serious about this subject, you're going to want to take a hard look at this. Steve Adams here from Tiger Medical Institute. Do you ever feel like you're operating at less than 100%? It's time to take control of your health with the True Health Assessment by Tiger Medical. Get comprehensive blood screening to identify hidden health risks before it's too late. Our team of Mayo-trained and naturopathic physicians will analyze your results and provide a custom plan to optimize your well-being. Don't let underlying issues hold you back. Invest in your most valuable asset, your health. For the price of a daily chai latte from Starbucks, you can gain priceless insights and a roadmap to peak performance. Visit truehealthassessment.com, truehealthassessment.com today and unlock your full potential. Because when you feel your best, you can achieve your best. That's true health. So another thing is called lectins, which are sticky proteins found in a large number of foods that have also caused intestinal permeability. When lectins enter the bloodstream because of leaky gut, they stick themselves into multiple organs and tissues, and such as your thyroid, your liver, your kidney, your prostate, breast and pituitary gland, and pancreas. And when this happens, the immune response against the lectins will cause inflammation within those tissues, okay? And so you get these organ-specific autoimmune disorders like Hashimoto's, thyroiditis. You can get the development of organ-specific cancers as well, okay? So these are found in cereal grains and in legumes. And they're also found, to cause other dysregulation in the immune function, okay? So these are the kind of things that you're going to want to go do some homework on. I don't have time in this short podcast to go into all the answers for this. What I'm trying to do is get you to go do some more research on your own and go, what are lectins? How can I get them out of my diet? Legumes, what legumes are detrimental to me? That's another thing. So in emulsifier, they're used in food They've been found to cause increased gut permeability as well. They alter gut bacteria, and they directly contribute to colitis, okay? And these are called mono and diglycerides. You're going to want to look for that on the label, or polysorbate 80. It's called P80, or soy lectin, or something called it's called CMC. Okay, I can't pronounce the word. It's too big of a word. I got notes here I'm looking at. And it's interesting, from the book, Dr. Nasha says that the synthetic emulsifier market is one of the fastest growing segments of food additives. And they're used widely in breads, in chocolate, dairy products, sodas, salad dressings, and ice cream. So you've got to look for them, okay? And I own an organic health store, and we have, and you can go to organic stores all across the country, natural grocers, Whole Foods, Fresh Market, your local health food store. You can get all of these kinds of foods, breads, chocolates, dairy products, sodas, salad dressings, and ice cream that don't have these products in them, okay? Another one is food dyes. FD&C yellow number 5 is widely used in yogurt, cereals, Play-Doh of all places, wow, and candy. And it's made from petroleum, okay? And this food additive, this food coloring, is contributory toward the leaky gut syndrome as well. All right, so we've covered those offenders to the immune system. The next one we want to go over is nutrient deficiency. And the big ones are vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, and the minerals selenium and zinc, okay? I'm not going to go into all of these. In the book, Dr. Nasha says between 79 and 97% of American adults are deficient in vitamin D. And that has a big role to play in your immune defense. Vitamin C can be a problem. And, I found out a year ago that I had a severe deficiency, and I was eating vitamin C foods, but I had to take a different form. I had to take something called liposomal vitamin C so that I would absorb it. And so I've been able to correct that problem with that. Vitamin A is another group. You can find these things in dandelion root, collard greens, kale, and spinach is where you can get a lot of vitamin A. So you're going to want to do that, and you can do that organically, obviously, is what you want to do because you want to limit the toxins. Vitamin C, I think you know where to get those. So we're not going to go into that. And then selenium is a trace mineral, and it has massive immune impacts. And here's the thing, if you have low selenium intake, it's correlated and associated with an increased risk of all types of cancer, okay? One study found that 200 milligrams of selenium daily increased the activity of your natural killer cells by 80%. And it increased the tumor killing ability of lymphocytes by 118%. So this is definitely worth looking into. And the best food source for selenium is Brazil nuts, okay? And so if you eat Brazil nuts, that's a good solution for you on the selenium side. You can also get it from shrimp and skipjack tuna. You can also look at it in terms of supplementation, but make sure you get it in the methylated form so that you can get it in you easier. And then zinc is the other one, easily found in beef and fish and shellfish and oysters. If you have a lot of legumes and a lot of whole grains, it'll actually inhibit the zinc bioavailability. You can also eat pumpkin seeds and pecans, which are really good for zinc. And you can also supplement in this area, okay? And so, one of the things that I guess I want to wrap up here is if you want to, be more productive, want to be sick less, if you want to stack the odds that you're going to lower your risk of disease, especially something like cancer, you're going to want to optimize your immune function, okay? And so what we talked about today was making sure you don't have nutrient deficiencies, was one thing. And then the other was making sure that you address your leaky gut. Okay. Leaky gut and nutrient deficiencies are the two biggest offenders. There's more, but these are things you can do something about. And what I would encourage you, whether you ever work with Tiger Medical or not, is you can get these things tested and understand where you are today, and then incorporate things like reducing the things that we talked about today that cause leaky gut, improving your nutrient uptake by really cleaning up your diet and supplementing properly. The third thing is managing stress and sleep really well. If you sleep really well and you sleep well, those will help enhance immune function. Improving your heart rate variability through a diaphragmatic breathing regime will help your immune function, as will fasting. And so take all of this together and take a little piece of it, apply something in your life, make one positive change today, and continue that next step in your journey. If you want to, learn more and really work with some world-class physicians potentially, or just learn more like what can I do next in this journey of mine of wellness and proactive preventative health, is go to our website at tigermi.com. Tigermi.com, that's Tiger Medical Institute, that's what that stands for. And right on the front page, you can click on one of the orange buttons there and you can find out about our optimal health test. That is a test kit that we send to the home, and it's a simple, easy to do thing and then you get on a call with me or one of our pros here, and we can tell you where you're at today and maybe some of the areas that you should explore and how that would look like working with our concierge program at Tiger Medical. So thanks a lot. Thanks for being with me today. And I hope this was helpful. Steve Adams here from Tiger Medical Institute, talking about the True Health Assessment. What if you could safeguard not just your health, but the well-being of your entire family? With the True Health Assessment from Tiger Medical, you can. Our comprehensive blood screening identifies hidden risks before they become major issues. Our elite team of Mayo Clinic trained and naturopathic physicians then create a customized plan to optimize your health for years to come. When you prioritize your wellness, you ensure you can be fully present for the people you love most. Don't let preventable issues cut that time short. For less than the cost of a daily latte, you can gain peace of mind and a clear path to sustained vitality. Protect your future and your family's future with True Health Assessment from Tiger Medical at thetruehealthassessment.com. Again, that's at thetruehealthassessment.com.